Well, I love being wrong, and I called this one wrong because the release date for Pax Day, the early access, and they're labeling this an alpha, but we'll dive fully into all the information today. But it is going to be June the 18th. So honestly, my first thought was that's pretty crazy, especially with everything coming out in June, but perhaps that's actually the best strategy. Slow launch, a sandbox mmorpg, and so much more. Now we have pricing details, packaging, what's all included. We're definitely going to be talking about, is this pay to win? I'd love to hear your thoughts, but let's go ahead and dive into the official announcements as well as dive into the pricing and so much more. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be covering Pax Day, its early access launch, and so much more here at the channel. So if you guys enjoy MMORPG content, that like button and that subscribe button are great ways that you can continue to get this in your feed. But let's continue on. Hello Paxians, we said before, Pax Day will only exist with the support of its players. From the game's reveal to the formation of our early group of supporters on Discord to the 2 public alpha tests that we ran the past few months, Pax Day's story is one of the community, and today we're inviting you to embark with us on the next step of the journey. So here are the highlights. June 18th, this is still alpha and heavily in development, so they're not saying that this is feature complete. So let's talk about that, especially to those of you who are excited for MMORPGs. If you do not like waiting for content and updates and features, I would recommend you hold off for now. Namely, being that you're not going to then find a lot of joy. We see this happen a lot of times. People get in on early access with any kind of games. We're seeing this right now with No Rest for the Wicked, and ultimately get frustrated. It's just a function of time. But if you do like giving that kind of feedback and you want to be a part of that development process, that's where early access is. That's the kind of personality that they're looking for. And if you're going to easily find yourself frustrated, especially because we're getting into an entire summer of just like incredible MMORPG updates, that I think there's going to be plenty for you to kind of be distracted on. So it's going to be up to you. Spend your money however you want, but we'll go for there. Now, they want us to help us to build a virtual world with habits for years to come. And your feedback is going to be invaluable during this process. If you guys are ready to embark, you can actually purchase early access starting today, and you can do so via their launcher, or it's also playable via PC Steam. Now, we do know that they've also talked about bringing this game to GeForce Now as a part of early access, so I do expect that we're going to see that happen before too long. So what's all this going to cost you? This is where it's going to get interesting. You can start with the Journeyman at $40, the Artisan at $60, and the Master at $100. So what's included? Obviously early access to the game across the board. The Founders Discord role is going to be included in each of the 3 packages. Plots of land. This is where things are fascinating. You get 1 for the Journeyman, 2 for the Artisan, and 4 for the Master. I forgot what they branded it. I was thinking Ultimate for a second there. Character slots. You get 2 for the Journeyman, you get 4 for the Artisan, and you get 6 for the Master. Now, I don't know how having additional characters is going to really truly play into it, but if you're looking for more character slots, I'm guessing they're going to sell additional character slots as well, because if you buy the Journeyman, question is can you upgrade from there? You get a Founder's outfit across all 3. You get the Hunter's Lodge in the Artisan and above, and then you get the Wyvern building set as a part of the Master. So you can kind of see images here of what all this is included. Now, this is an early access game. It's heavily in development. So remember, we're going to keep hammering this home that it's not feature complete. Pax Day early access kicks off on the 18th. Pre-purchase the game to be among the first to play it. And then from the system requirements, you're seeing here from the minimum, you're looking at 16 gigs of RAM, Intel i5 7060K, 8 gigs of VRAM, GF RTX 2060 or Radeon RX 5700 XT. Recommended, they're wanting you to have at least a 3060 or the equivalent for Radeon. They want you to, again, that RAM stays around the same. A Ryzen i7 or Intel equivalent is what they're recommending there. And then obviously they're recommending NVMe storage for that fast loading. Why an early access? Well, let's dive into the frequently asked questions. Their game and the community is going to come alive. We've reached the stage where we need a live game to keep developing, and the feedback that we've received from the founders will help shape the game that we look at launch. It's going to be interesting to see how this is received overall from, you know, the sandbox MMO. We know sandbox MMOs are niche, especially when they have full loot PvP. Like, we're talking a niche within a niche, maybe even stack on another niche there, and then we go from it. Anyway, what's the current state of the game? It is currently in alpha. How long will the game remain in early access? They are scheduled to last till at least June of 2025 or possibly longer. So at a minimum a year. But ultimately, you could probably see, based off of their pacing and the fact they're considering this an alpha, I would give it a 1.5 to 2 years. But again, I thought this game was they're going to launch in early access in July, and it's June, which is a choice. I hope it works out for them. I'm personally really excited to play it. What do you mean by wiping the game? How often will that happen? And they say throughout early access, as we expand on both the game in terms of content systems, we anticipate major updates that will require us to reset the game entirely and start over. That being said, we will do our best to keep such wipes few and far between as possible. Ideally, we will also try to do them only particularly major changes on the terrain of home valleys. Could lead to resets of all the plots, but not to your character. Some deep changes to the skill system and crafting progression could lead to a reset of characters, but not to the plots. At least once complete, wipe reset will occur just before the full release, so it should only just it should only be the last one, but we don't plan to wipe once the game is no longer in early access and it is full release. So if you don't want to see progress stripped away from you, hold off for now, unless you want some of those perks to kind of be associated with your account, but don't let yourself build a level of frustration that the devs are telling you, you know, like, hey, this might not be for you. Will players coming from different platforms be able to play together? And they say yes. Players using Steam or the Pax Dei launcher will have a common list of shards. And then what languages are currently being available? Only in English during early access, with German, early access starting with German and French. I misread that. Game is currently available in English. We plan to add more languages. There we go. I was like, the way that they phrased that, it just sounded a little bit strange. Anyway, guys, this is the details and information that we've all been hungry and waiting for. I think this is a really good thing to see with Pax Dei. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be picking up the master level. When it comes down to, is it pay to win? Well, kind of. And that's really going to depend on what you feel is winning. Sandbox MMORPGs, they truly require a subscription. Early access does not have a subscription. That's something they've talked about adding in, as well as with the token, which is like the thing I like about that. The thing I like about that level of respect is that they're communicating with us about this now, rather than 6 months down the road, or 2 years down the road, and say, hey, we're gonna add in this system, which then fundamentally changes a lot of the things. So if nothing else, at least I like that they're being transparent and communicative about their plans and whatnot. Pricing wise, seems pretty standard for MMORPGs. It seems like it's almost in a way kind of a free to play, even though they've talked about this game being a buy to play with the various different founders packs. And ultimately, I don't know if they can stack the founders packs. It wasn't a part of the FAQ, and if you can, that ends up being where you could see a lot of people picking up a lot of plots, a lot of space in that regards, which could probably definitely feel a little bit pay to win in that respects. Regardless, I think they have an interesting concept. I really like sandbox MMORPGs. For me, these are my comfy kind of style MMOs. You kind of just live and breathe in the world. You carve out a little piece of it. I'm very excited to see more about the economics. And they go on to talk about how they're going to be sharing more information with us very soon. With Summer Games Fest, that is just this Friday, and I'm going to be doing a live reaction to that over on Ginger Prime if you want to come hang out for that event. There's going to be some New World stuff. There's going to be so much other stuff here as well. It's going to be a good time, and I really hope that you guys get the opportunity to come hang out, and I look forward to talking with you guys about Pax Dei, MMORPGs, and what this summer is going to entail. And it's going to be jam-packed. That's for sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care. My voice just failed me at the last minute. Bye.